Joining us from Capitol Hill is a House Majority Leader. That's Republican Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana. Congressman Scalise, always good to have you on the program. Thank you so much. You just heard the poll that said 74% of Americans say that the president has not been focused enough on lowering the prices. So what do you think he needs to say tonight to address the issue of affordability?
Well, Gayle, I think it's going to be two things. First of all, it's going to be a real sharp focus on exactly what the president has been doing, working with Congress to make life more affordable for working families. And that work also has to remind people just where they started during the Biden years. Because, I think people forget real easily, inflation was in double digits. You saw inflation well higher than it is today during the Biden years. You saw interest rates much higher during the Biden years. You saw gas prices. They've come down half under Donald Trump because of real specific things that President Trump has done. And just gas prices alone means about $600 more in the pockets of working families. And so there's a lot more work to do. And I think that's one of the things you'll hear the president talking about is that, yes, we had a lot of mess to mop up during those 4 years of high costs, and they're coming down in the right direction, but they're not where we want them to be. And we're going to keep working to bring more job creation, to bring more wage growth. Remember, during the 4 years of Joe Biden, average working families lost $3,000 of wages. They've made up about $1,200 of that in the first year of Donald Trump. There's more to go. So we have more work to do. And I think you're going to see the president talk about those things that he wants to do, not only what he has done, what he's going to do.
Congressman, people still don't feel that. I think a lot of people wonder, at what point do we stop talking about the Biden years and just focus on the Trump years? But you're saying he has some work to do and he's aware of that. I know he will talk about tariffs.
Yeah, you'll see both. I think you're going to see both tonight. Where we started, where we are, and where we need to go. So, it's going to be a three-part series. You got to remind people where we got to, how in the last year we've done a lot with a very small majority working with this president to start getting things back on track. But the work's not done. There is more to do.
Well, we know he was very unhappy with the Supreme Court ruling that struck down his tariffs, and he right away imposed a 15% tariffs on the imports. And now they're saying that this could translate to higher taxes. Do you agree with his strategy on this?
Well, the president's been clear long before he ran for office that there are countries all around the world, friends and foes alike, who take advantage of the United States, who don't open markets to us. One of the things President Trump used tariffs to do is to leverage those tariffs to get fair trade. I think everybody wants free trade, but they know not all countries treat us fairly, including, European friends, Asian friends that were not allowing us to sell our products into their countries. That's finally starting to change. And when you see more American products that we can sell into foreign countries, that's one benefit of this. Look, this is the first few months of this policy, but it's already yielding some dividends for the American worker. And by the way, we're seeing trillions of dollars of investment in America, people building manufacturing plants. Those are jobs for Americans that are coming to our country because of President Trump's work.
Congressman, not only will the president talk about the economy, he will also talk about foreign policy. We have just learned this morning that congressional leaders are expected at the White House this afternoon for a briefing on Iran. I want to ask you, one, are you invited? What are your questions and concerns? And what about this news this morning that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is warning the president of a high risk of American casualties if the U.S. attacks Iran?
Well, I've been in some briefings on Iran, and you can see what's happening right now. And look, the people of Iran are rising up against their own failed leaders. But President Trump's made it clear we cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran. It's not just bad for America. They want to destroy America, and they say just that. They want to destroy other parts of the world. The Middle East is very appreciative of what President Trump has done. I mean, they want to eviscerate Israel, but the other Middle Eastern countries.
I'm confused because the president said we had obliterated their nuclear capability. So what would be, in your mind, the goal of this strike?
Well, the president's going to lay more of that out, but they want to continue rebuilding their nuclear program. They're not done. They built it up over a long period of time. They're not done trying to create a nuclear weapon. And so, you got to look at the threats that are going on in Iran and how they fund terrorist proxies around the world, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. all killing Americans. They're still killing American troops around the world, not just allies like Israel. They kill Americans, too.
All right, Congressman Steve Scalise, well, we thank you for your time, and I know we'll talk again. Thanks so much.
And excited to see the U.S. hockey team.
All right, yes, us too, us too. Ahead, we will talk to Senator Alyssa Slotkin, who delivered the Democratic response last year. We invite you to stay with CBS tonight for live coverage of President Trump's State of the Union address and the Democrats' response. CBS Evening News anchor, that's Tony DeCopel, will lead our coverage. Starts at 9 o'clock here on CBS, and then streaming, of course, on Paramount+. Then you can watch the Free Press post-State of the Union wrap-up on our streaming channel, CBS News 24/7.